Greenblood, my friend. My contacts have spoken. I was able to discover the location of this infamous Phantom training camp.
Do you still think they should be held accountable?
More than ever. You know that I recruited Raynor. I want to know what kind of hornet's nest I led him into. I want to know what these madmen did. But I fear if I go alone, I might not be able to control myself. And I won't learn anything. I need the help of my best student.
How can I refuse such a request? Well then, let's go.
I was informed of your arrival by my sentinels, but I didn't think it would be you, Kurt.
Rolf, you're the leader of this camp.
Do you two know each other?
We train together. We haven't seen each other in a long time. A very long time.
The world of warriors is very small, Kurt. What brings you here, my old comrade? And who are these people with you? They're not one of us?
My name is Desadeh. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I'm Siora, Donegad, of the Gaiusrad.
These people sure are important. So, what are you doing here?
I've heard things about this place. About this very special camp.
And we wanted to see what it was all about with our own eyes.
That's very nice of you, but visitors aren't welcome in this camp. What goes on here is only the guards' business.
Does the same apply to me?
Listen, Kurt. I can give you and your friends some answers, but only because it's you. Anyway, knowing you as well as I do, I'm aware I'm not going to get rid of you that easily. So, what would you like to know?
What is it you do here? And why is this place kept secret? Even from your comrades in the Guard?
The natives have their magic, and we have to train elites to be able to face them. That's what we're doing here. Our role is sensitive, and our location obviously cannot be revealed to the whole island.
Does this man not realize that I'm a Donegad?
I noticed you're a native, but you're a friend of Kurt's, so I trust you will be discreet.
I see the reason for this kind of training. The Bridge Alliance would be particularly interested in soldiers like these. And yet I'd never heard of this elite squadron.
We're still in the early stages of the program. We don't want to rush things. And our leaders demand secrecy. Orders are orders.
This is a huge camp for such a secret location. How is it organized?
The main building is reserved for officers and the wounded. The front and rear of the camp are dedicated to combat training. But most exercises take place outside.
Impressive. And how do you manage recruitment?
Only the best come here. Those who have combat experience. Once they arrive, they're separated into 2 squadrons, each led and trained by a lieutenant. But you already know all of this, Kurt. It must bring back memories.
Yes.
Will you tell us about your training?
That's a sensitive topic. Most exercises take place in the field to get the men used to it. The natives' knowledge of the environment gives them as much of an advantage as their magic. But if you want to know more, you should ask my lieutenant instructors.
Actually, we found out about this camp while we were looking for someone.
A kid I recruited. Raina.
Oh. I didn't know he was one of yours. My condolences. I was told he died in an accident in the harbor.
Don't insult my intelligence, Rolf.
All right. Since you're here, I guess there's no point in lying to you anymore. The accident occurred during a maneuver. It's regrettable, but these things happen, you know?
We've taken up enough of your time, Captain.
I agree, and I have things to do.
I'd like to question your lieutenant instructors, if you don't mind. To ask them about Raina.
You've become a real sap. Fine. But try not to disrupt the day's schedule too much. Goodbye.
I'm sorry. I couldn't contain my anger.
I noticed. Good thing you know this captain so well. I don't think he would have let us investigate otherwise.
I'm not sure it's a good thing, really.
You don't seem to like this man.
Rolf doesn't bring back good memories for me. But let's continue. I want to know what's going on here. Lieutenant,
Captain.
my friend here would like to learn more about this camp.
At your orders, Captain. Sir?
Can you tell us about your squadron?
The recruits who come here are the best. And in my squadron, they get even better. I don't know what else to tell you. They're disciplined, rigorous, and effective. Exactly what you'd expect from the best soldiers.
What kind of training takes place in your ranks?
Combat in natural settings. Combat against the savages' magic.
I'm very curious about how you train against the magic the natives use.
Now, these are complex, secret maneuvers. I'm very sorry, but I can't tell you anymore.
That's a pity. It would definitely be instructive.
I heard the recruit Raina trained here. What can you tell me about him?
Oh, he was a good one. He died a little while ago.
So we've heard. Your captain told us he died during a maneuver. Can you tell us more?
The training we do outside can be dangerous. Unfortunately, Raina fell to his death in a ravine.
He fell.
During a simulated ambush. I know, it's not glorious, but it happens. I'd like to get back to work now, if you'll allow it, Captain.
Go on. We're gonna go talk to some of your recruits.
I hope that it won't take too long. We're all very busy here.
We'll be quick, Lieutenant.
The story about training against magic is a lie. This lieutenant has no idea what he's talking about.
So what could they be training recruits for here, then?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I don't like it. Soldier!
Yes, Captain.
At ease. We have some questions for you.
Me? At your orders, Captain.
You look exhausted. Is training that rough here?
Well, it's difficult at first, but you get through it. Taming fatigue. That's the key to it all.
Haven't you ever wanted to stop? You've never doubted your vocation.
I'm not a coward, nor a weakling. The strength of the Shadow.
What is that? Your motto?
Our squadrons, Captain.
You seem concerned about your comrades. You keep looking at them.
No, not at all.
Are you afraid of what they might think of you?
Absolutely not, Captain. We are all of one mind in this squadron. We are very united.
Since this is such a close-knit squadron, you must have known Raynor.
Yes, of course. But he's not part of the squadron any longer. He left.
Really?
I don't know what you're trying to get me to say, Captain. Raynor left the squadron because he was sent on a mission. There's nothing more to say.
Sorry, mate, but that's not what happened.
I don't know anything more.
Thank you. That will be all.
Thank you, sire. Captain?
Good heavens, I feel like a bogeyman.
These recruits are clearly scared to let any information slip.
It's as if their life depended on it. Lieutenant,
Respectfully, Captain.
here is my friend, the legate of the merchant congregation. He would like to ask you a few questions.
At your orders. I'm listening, sires.
How do the various squadrons in this camp differ from one another?
The recruits I train are intended to carry out more subtle actions.
Really? What kind?
I teach them how to blend into the background, understand customs, observe, and know when to strike.
That's strange. These skills are normally associated with assassins, rather than soldiers.
These skills are always useful, regardless of the enemy or the setting.
What kind of training do your men undergo?
I can't go into details, but they learn discipline and to outdo themselves.
You mean to blindly follow orders, even to their death?
But No, Captain. We also teach them to analyze situations, so that they know when to act to avoid risking their lives.
How did you become an instructor in this camp?
I have led numerous squadrons before, and I've trained hundreds of recruits on the continent. I worked with Captain Rolfe in the past, and when I arrived on the island, he recommended me for this position.
That's very impressive. And I expect that you're familiar with the natives' environment and magic.
Yes, of course.
Kurt, don't you think that someone this talented fits what we're looking for? You see, we need to find someone who can replace Kurt to oversee my cousin's security.
Your cousin is the governor of New Serene, I've heard. It's a prestigious position. I don't doubt my abilities, but an offer like this, made so suddenly, must have a price.
We can't hide anything from you.
We're trying to find out what happened to Raynor, a recruit who trained here.
That name doesn't sound familiar. He must have been in the Shadow Squadron.
The other lieutenant's squadron.
Yes. I'm sorry. Haven't been much use to you. Did something happen to him?
He died. His body was thrown into the harbor to make it look like he drowned.
I guess it was one of your recruits. My condolences, Captain.
We'll question some of your soldiers.
At your orders, but please be quick. I'd like to get on with training.
Hello, soldier.
Captain?
We need information. Your instructor authorized us to question you.
Of course, sire. I'm listening.
How would you describe your training? Do you train outside the camp much?
Yes, we do. Well, not exclusively.
Really? Yet we've been told that your unit specialized in actions over difficult terrain.
Yes, I think so. Well, yes, that's true.
Problems remembering things, soldier?
No, Captain.
What's it like in your squadron?
Very good. The Phantom Squadron is made up only of the very best.
Do you trust your comrades?
We're like 5 fingers on one hand, sire. I would trust them with my life.
You've sure got the military spirit.
Yes, Captain.
We've learned that a recruit died in an accident during a maneuver. Does this happen often?
No, of course not. Only to those who aren't strong enough.
That's strange. I was told that this recruit was very talented.
I don't know what to tell you. It's possible. If you don't mind, I'd like to get back to my training.
He seems afraid that an accident might befall him too.
No, it's not that. I just don't want to fall behind schedule.
Very well. Go on.
Excellence. Captain.
These kids are scared to death.
Yes. This boy's answers about his training seem pretty dubious to me.
You can't hide the lies. Soldier!
Captain!
At ease, soldier.
We'd like to learn more about your training.
I have nothing to say about it, sir.
Really? Go on, it's not a difficult question. What do you do during training?
Is this a test, Captain?
No, it's not a test. You may speak freely.
Well, training is difficult, but we can't complain, Captain.
That's an interesting way to phrase it. You're very united in this squadron. At least, that's what I've been told.
United. You could say that, yes. Until death.
That's rather sinister. Does the name Raynor sound familiar to you?
Yeah. Well, no, not really.
You seem rather hesitant. Afraid of being reprimanded by your lieutenant?
No. Well, not at all. It's just that I can't tell you anything about Recruit Raynor. And we're lucky to have the Lieutenant as our instructor, Captain.
We should leave this soldier to his work.
Your name, soldier?
Wilhelm. First Class Recruit Wilhelm, Spectre Squadron.
Keep it up, Wilhelm.
Lieutenants! Report.
Captain?
Could you give us a few minutes and take us around the site? I've never been here before, and I'm curious to see what goes on.
I'm not sure if we can, Captain.
We are on duty, Captain.
Right, Lieutenant. Let's go! Are you coming with us?
No, thank you. I'd rather stay here. Take in some fresh air.
As you like. In that case, see you later.
Wilhelm, we need to talk. And don't worry. Kurt will make sure your superior doesn't come this way.
Why are you doing this?
We didn't think you'd say anything as long as she was here.
If you noticed, others will have too. They'll make me pay.
Even more reason to talk. If we have proof, we can take action and close this camp.
Very well. What would you like to know?
What's really going on here? We know that Raynor didn't die in an accident.
This is supposed to be a training camp for the Guard's elite. Only the most talented recruits are allowed to join. This is an immense honor, an extraordinary chance. That's what we're told every day. But in reality, it's just hell.
Tell me about the training you undergo here.
It's more torture than anything else. We're constantly beaten and humiliated, and the slightest complaint only leads to more blows. They even push us to police one another, so we don't dare talk. Whatever the orders, we put our heads down, grit our teeth, and obey.
And they call us barbarians. We could never put our own children through this.
I heard them tell you about the specialist training against the natives in hostile environments. But what they teach us would be more useful for assassins.
As for Raynor, do you know what happened to him?
Yes. One day he just couldn't stand it any longer. He disobeyed orders, he fought back, and people got hurt. That's when things blew up. They summoned him for night training.
What does that entail?
It doesn't have much to do with real training. They call us up for it at the last minute. The weakest serve as punching bags for the others, who are encouraged to beat them. If we refuse, we too become the targets. So we join in and strike. If you're looking to punish Raynor's murderer, you can start with me. We all have his blood on our hands.
Thank you for telling us all of this. You should get back to your comrades.
I hope you can do something. Have this camp closed. Otherwise, I'll soon be as dead as Raina.
We understand the risk you've taken. We won't let you down.
Thank you. Really. That was truly fascinating.
Captain,
I've seen everything I needed to see. You can leave us.
Yes, Captain.
Shall we go?
Kurt, Willem has spoken.
What did he tell you?
He said the recruits go through hell. They're humiliated, spy on each other, get bullied. It's essentially torture. Raina wouldn't stand for these methods. He rebelled and was summoned for night training.
Are you sure he used that term?
Yes, but he told me it's not really training. The recruits are summoned.
And the others beat them. Sometimes to death. I know.
You knew about this kind of training?
Yeah. I thought it was a thing of the past. What a monster. How dare he?
I'm so sorry. I'm lost for words. Tell me, did you learn anything new?
I scouted out the site. There's 2 parts of the barracks we should look at more closely. Rolf's quarters and the basement, which they refused to open for me.
You're full of anger, Sengots. Take a deep breath and think. Then tell us your plan.
Let's wait for nightfall. We'll sneak into the camp unseen, search the barracks, the private quarters, and then the basement.
We might also try to find out where this night training takes place.
Yes. I wouldn't want other young recruits to lose their lives tonight. Especially Wilhelm.
Strange. There's no one left in this part of the camp.
Maybe they're in the combat pit behind the barracks. I saw it when I visited the camp. Or they've already left for their night training. Let's find Rolf's office. He surely has the key to the basement.
This letter is disturbing, Kurt. It confirms that several deaths have been disguised in order to keep this camp secret. But it says that the recruits trained here had been assigned to governors from different cities. And yet I'm sure that Constantine knows nothing about these elite units. The conclusion of the letter also confirms that the commander is pleased with what's been going on here.
So Torsten knew.
So it seems. Including about the deaths.
He's gone too far. He dishonors us all. Sieglinder was right.
This room. What could have happened in here?
I know this smell only too well. Fear, blood, death.
These people have turned this place into a site of suffering. It will take years of work to erase its traces.
This document explains a lot. They torture the soldiers to break them. Rayner shows up on this list more than once. He gave them a lot of problems.
Those who resist too much are lynched during night training. Rolf, you'll pay for this.
Kurt, Wilhelm's name was added to tonight's training.
That's the young man who helped us, isn't it? They will probably kill him for it.
We can't let them kill him. We must stop this training immediately.
The risk is that Rolf will ambush us.
If this boy dies because of us, I will never forgive myself. I refuse to let these recruits pay for the bastards who manipulate them. Let's avoid spilling blood in vain.
You surprise me once again, Kurt. You're full of compassion for these youngsters.
They're just kids. There has to be a way to reason with them.
We'll do what we can, Kurt. I can't promise anything more. Despite what Wilhelm told me, I wasn't expecting this. He's getting destroyed.
They'll kill him. We can't let them get away with it.
Come on, I'll teach you how to dance. Come on, I'll teach you how to dance.
Stop! We won't let you kill this boy like you killed Rayner.
Soldiers! Do you realize what you're doing?
Captain? But...
You shouldn't be here. This time, you won't get away with it. To arms!
When my Master of Arms was in the Guard, he always repeated, fight with honor. What honor is there in lynching one of your own when he's defenseless? What honor is there in being forced to kill one another the moment one of you refuses to toe the line?
none. We followed orders. Nothing more.
You've been manipulated. But it's not too late to refuse all of this, to act with honor.
You're right, Captain. It's over, Lieutenant. We will no longer beat our own.
Imbeciles! Traitors!
To my help!
Will you be all right?
I'm wounded, but I'll survive. Thanks to you. I'm eternally grateful.
Come, Wilhelm. We'll help you get home. We owe you that, at least.
I'm counting on you to bring him back to the camp in one piece.
Yes, Captain.
Well then, let's go. We can't let that vermin Rolf escape us. Let's hope that Rolf didn't hear the sounds of combat. Surprise is our best ally.
You're right. Let's try to approach discreetly.
Kurt, you're so predictable.
I knew you were a bastard, but I didn't think you'd be part of this disgrace.
Have fun, soldiers! The traitors must die!
Stop! Soldiers, are you really going to obey these scoundrels? Do I need to remind you of the Guard's motto? Where is your honor?
I won't repeat myself, recruits. Execute these traitors!
Soldiers, listen to your captain. You are the victims of these monsters, and we are here to save you. We surrendered without resistance, to avoid a fight, and to spare your lives.
Well, what do you want us to do? We have orders, and we know what will happen to us if we don't obey.
Enough! To arms! Attack!
It was nearly Wilhelm's turn tonight. It could have been any of you.
Lies! Only the weak fall. So we must prove that we aren't among them.
Nonsense. I've seen more combat than any of you, and I've seen hundreds of soldiers die. Weak or not. I've seen this kind of camp before, full of torture and sadistic officers. I thought it was a thing of the past, but I was wrong. So help me make sure this camp really is the last of them.
You're right, Captain. If we don't put down our weapons, this will never end.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. You've trained cowards.
Their training wasn't finished, Captain, and the speeches were so convincing.
Silence! Where is this second squadron? Should have been here a long time ago.
They're not coming, Rolf.
They surrendered too. It would appear that your training methods aren't very effective.
Now that you no longer have lackeys to send after us, Rolf, you'll have to get your own hands dirty.
I've dreamt of shutting that big mouth of yours up for so long.
Will you be all right, Kurt?
Yes. Yes. I'll be fine. I'm just glad to know that this camp won't kill anyone else.
What about you, Wilhelm?
Thank you for saving my life. Without you...
I hope you can forget all about this. This is not what the Guard is about.
I don't know if you'll be able to forgive us, Wilhelm.
I've been in your shoes on other nights. You didn't have the choice.
While we wait for this camp to close for good, you'll be under Wilhelm's command. You'll soon receive your transfer orders.
At your orders, Captain.
Glad it's you, Wilhelm.
You'll stay here for now. I'll send men I trust to come get you soon.
What do you want us to do?
I'll need backup if I really want to put an end to all of this. We must go see Major Sieglinder in New Serene. I need to tell her what was going on here.
Are you sure she wasn't involved?
Her? Never. She's old school. She already held the commander at a distance because she didn't like the direction the Guard was headed. He would have sacked her, or worse, if she didn't have so much support within the Guard. I should have listened to her.
There's no use brooding over the past. Let's go. We'll go and see her immediately.
Sieglinder, I need to talk to you.
What's the matter, Kurt?
We've just returned from a training camp. A secret camp, where elite soldiers are trained through terror, humiliation, and torture.
Don't tell me that.
Yes. One of my recruits died, and he wasn't the only one. It is designed to create a regiment of assassins.
I am sorry, Kurt. I knew something was wrong, but I never would have thought it'd go that far.
We put an end to it all. We had to. But Torsten allowed it, even encouraged it.
I told you that the commander's ambition would end up leading us astray from the ideals of the Guard, and that we would pay the price for it.
Yes. At the time, I told you you were exaggerating. that he had his reasons.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to speak out, Sieglinde, and reveal the commander's project to the governor of the congregation.
If I were as close to him and his family as you are, I would have done so a long time ago.
I know. I feel so stupid for not having understood Torsten's scheme until now.
You've always been a loyal person, Kurt, and too many loyalties are sometimes hard to reconcile. But Torsten betrayed us all. I'm counting on you to make him pay for it.
Believe me, he won't get away with it. Goodbye, Sieglinde.
Goodbye, Kurt. My men and I stand with you.
Greetings! Do you want to travel without tiring yourself out? My caravan goes through all the cities. So, where should I drop you?
Thanks, but I'd rather walk.
Move away!
What an astounding place.
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sons. How could their chief accept this?
All that's left to do is to find Father Justinius.
Welcome to Eden, the lighthouse of faith, harmony, and civilization in these wild lands.
Thank you. Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I am Father Justinius. Delighted. And what may I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from us.
How could they have learned of the tablet's existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
I wonder how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence. Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the St. Matthias is conducted.
Whom do you suspect of being the thief?
Alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us. Or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to, but I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
I imagine someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you managed to retrieve the tablets for us.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village had been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of St. Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminus actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. Thank you. I will let you work. Do you have any ideas about who stole the tablets?
Some of the village savages helped us during the search. Perhaps they are behind all of this. There was a particular woman who seemed to want us to be there. I don't remember her name, though.
De Sardet. I am handing into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of profit. All that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here. And the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter, anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about Saint Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors, and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. I will leave you to your work. Goodbye. Father.
I'm glad to see you, my child. What can I do for you?
Tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native village. The islanders called it Vigsanegad, which translates to the Village of the Old Sage. We saw it as a sign. The natives had probably chosen this name in memory of Saint Matthias, and everything here fit the description of St. Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about Saint Matthias. That helped to convince them.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who oppose...
Left?
Oh, to some of them.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But, in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people. And yet...
I must leave you. Goodbye.
May the enlightened always keep you in their divine blessing.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader of this village.
Hello. Desarde. I am the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onol Menawi among the Logead Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
I've heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Teleme, and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them, they were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthäus, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Sons, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstyrent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men, perhaps wiser than they are. Like so many others.
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
On the other hand, had they followed their chief's example, this wouldn't have happened. Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur.
If you are saying that these tablets bear writings from the very hand of our holy founder, then we must find them. Without them, all our research to trace the life of Saint Matthäus on this island is doomed to failure. If these savages have stolen them, we will have to take them back, by force if necessary.
There is only one entrance and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened, but someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village, family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who is close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
You have returned on Olmanawi. Do you need something else?
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
I do not think they will hurt us. They want peace too, and violence would break it all.
I understand why you are no longer the chief, if you do not even know what the inhabitants of your village are doing.
You're right. I was indeed a bad chief. I couldn't even convince those who left to stay.
I understand why you are no longer the chief. If you... Since you do not want to talk, I will have to tell the Mother Cardinal to send the Ordo Luminous. The Inquisitors will make you confess the name of the person who helped the exiles.
You wouldn't do that. The Solasser would burn the entire village.
He's not really leaving me a choice. Right. Let's go back to San Mateus.
Wait! I think the name of the woman you are looking for is Vindwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her, but things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I have to go.
Like so many others.
Greetings. Are you Vindwal?
Bertia Tumad. Yes, that is me. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the mind shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of St. Mateus.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then you know that I don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
Tell me where the exiles are. I must retrieve these tablets.
You're asking me to betray my son. Promise me that you won't hurt him.
I promise. But if he reacts violently, I'll have to defend myself.
Then I hope he'll be reasonable. Bran and the others are hiding in the woods, beyond the circle of stone.
Thank you, Vindwal. Here's the place that Vindwal indicated. The exiles must be near.
I hope you don't intend to fight them. They've already had to leave their families and their homes. They've said...
Do it! What are you doing here?
I'm not here to fight you, but I must retrieve the tablets of St. Matthias.
What? How do you know we have them? And how? Not Freddy. We will not give them back! We lost our homes and families, so the priests lose their sacred stones!
I know that you are seeking vengeance, but the priests will not be the only ones to suffer the consequences of your actions. Your mother helped you, and once they find out about it, she will pay the price in your place. Is that what you want?
No. She only told us which night we could come. They have no right to punish her for this.
I doubt the Ordo Luminous will care. They will need someone to take the blame, and she's the obvious choice.
Very well. Take the stones and leave. All that's left to do is to rejoin the Donea Exregao.
What are you doing here?
I was worried for my son. I wanted to make sure that everything was fine.
Don't worry, all is well. I managed to convince him to give me the tablets.
Ad Loredar, I did not believe my son to be so reasonable. You are giving me hope. I will go see him and tell him to find another clan. A place to welcome him.
I retrieved your relics.
Thank you. Thank you immensely. Thanks to them, we will be able to continue our research on St. Matthias.
I am curious to know who is responsible for this theft. The culprit. must be brought to justice.
I do not want to point the finger at anyone. You have your relics back, and that's the only thing that matters.
Your indulgence honors you. But how can we be certain that these thieves will not strike again if they are not punished?
Had you respected this village, you would not have to look for a culprit. You settled here without even asking those who lived here for their opinion on the matter. Instead of talking about harmony, start taking action to really make it happen.
But that is precisely what we desire more than anything. We may have been a bit clumsy in the beginning, but we'll make sure to improve things in the future. You really were a great help. I would be most grateful if you agreed to continue helping us.
I might come back at some point, but alas, I'm very busy.
Naturally. Either way, we are certainly capable of continuing our research without you.
Actually, I must go back to my work. Our next expedition must depart as soon as possible.
Your next expedition?
Our brave researchers must continue to follow the tracks of our founder on this island. In the meantime, here, take this as a token of gratitude for the help you gave us.
Thank you. I hope your expedition will be a success.
Things are about to get dicey!
You're about to get dancing!
Drink a You are from the continent, are you not? You are different than the people from here.
Indeed. I am from the congregation of merchants. My name is Desardet. To whom do I have the privilege?
Sister Ephesia, envoy of Ptolemy, by the grace of the Illuminated. Enchanted, the Mother Cardinal has tasked me to investigate the activities of this village.
She also sent me here, to be your second.
What excellent news. You cannot imagine how much comfort that brings me. How might I help you?
How has your mission fared up until now, sister?
Not very well, I'm afraid. I haven't been able to get much from these villagers. Their chief and their priest are evasive when questioned. As for the other natives, their behavior can be quite odd. They'll spend hours just staring into the void. But as soon as I come close, they chase me away. They frighten me, I must admit. There is a heavy veil of evil here. I feel it, but I'm not able to find from whence it comes. Perhaps you should talk to them. They may speak to you. Anything else?
Have you been here for a long time?
Since the beginning of my investigation. A few weeks, perhaps, although it feels like months. I'm not particularly fond of the wild, and I find this place unsettling.
I see.
Anything else?
That will be all, Sister Ephesia. Thank you.
you